Hello everybody, and welcome to the first update for Sint Maarten. So this is a brand new airport coming to the channel. I might have seen some other videos of making this airport, but it is finally we have our first update here. This airport is kind of divided into two little areas here. So here we have like the turboprops and stuff, and then here's like the main terminal, which funny enough is using the airport series SXM set that Gemini Jets made. Also here we have the famous runway with Maho Beach there at the end. So we'll get to all that later, but we will first begin here. This is like the Win Air terminal. Win Air is Sint Maarten airline that is based out of here, and they serve many of the islands in the area. So I got these two Twin Otters here from Shapeways, and as you can see, I customized them into both of Win Air's liveries. So we have their older one. I think it's the older one. It has a blue bottom and then white on top, with a red line kind of going through the middle of it. And then we have their newer livery, which is mostly white, but it has like a blue and a red sheet line going down the middle. So actually the two aircraft that are represented here, at least the ones that I used the jet photos images for, we have, this one has a registration on it, Papa Juliet Whiskey India India, and this one is Papa Juliet Whiskey India Papa. So those are the two aircraft represented here. Not the actual ones that did these flights, but actually I believe Whiskey India Papa was the actual one that did this flight, but the other one isn't. So we'll start in the back there with Whiskey India Papa. This one is on the turn from St. Bartholomew, St. Barth's, another famous airport in the Caribbean for its very fun runway, short runway. So it's the one with the hill right in front of it, and then you have to do the very steep descent for landing onto the runway. So that's kind of a fun airport in the area. That's actually, I believe, the most flights out of Sint Maarten, for sure, definitely the most flights out of Sint Maarten go there, but they're just all on smaller aircraft. And this other Win Air Twin Otter here, this is an older livery. This one is also doing the same thing. Win Air, basically all of their flights are from St. Maarten to St. Barth's, so get ready to see that a lot. That's pretty much all that they do here. So they do other routes, I should say. It's not only those two, but that is primarily what they do. But they're not the only airline that does that. And the other airline that primarily does that route, right here, they operate Cessna Caravans. It is actually called St. Barth's Commuter. And here is that aircraft here, also in the commuter section. So they just, another Shapeways model. This one was one of my original Shapeways models. They also do the service from St. Barth's to St. Maarten plenty times in the day. Not as many as Win Air, but they still do quite a few flights here, and you'll definitely see them a lot in future updates here. So good to see them once again in here. And so yeah, that is the commuter section here. Majority of the flights actually to Sint Maarten are of this type, mostly on Win Air. So it was really key to get those customs to do this airport, because it really wouldn't be Sint Maarten without them. So I really wanted to embrace this, as I would say I'm probably the only YouTube channel that does airport updates for Sint Maarten. I want to try to make them as realistic as possible, at least to maybe try to set myself apart from other YouTubers who are doing maybe like one-off Sint Maarten airport updates. I really want to have the strong base in the commuter section. So we're going to stick with that here, but now we'll get into perhaps the more interesting part, going into the bigger aircraft, our jets, in today's update. We'll get to the aircraft that are not parked at gates first. So here just arriving in, we have this American 737-800, a gorgeous model by NG. Love it in the lighting here. This one came in from Miami and is currently taxiing in to its gate. It'll be parking at Alpha 1, which I guess we will see later on in the update. But it is adjacent to the terminal. It doesn't have a jet bridge, but I believe it used to. It doesn't have one anymore, however. So this one is coming in from Miami, and we'll be heading back out there on the turn. And here is the WestJet 737-700, slinging for an 800, as they seem to only operate the 800s to Sint Maarten from Toronto. So this is on the turn from Toronto. This one is clearly taking off, blasting everyone away here at Maho Beach. Look at all the people there, just being totally blasted by the CFM 56s on this WestJet 737-700. So yeah, this one, the actual aircraft was supposed to be, originally it was supposed to be the Disneyland Mickey Mouse livery or whatever it is in WestJet's fleet. But it got swapped out at the last minute for just a regular 737-800, which makes this aircraft more accurate, but that's too bad that they missed out on that special livery. But you know, I think the regular WestJet livery still looks pretty good, and that is what we see here. And as I temporarily switched to my phone for the time being, I can have more cool shots like this of the American A319 with sharklets, as you can see. Kind of looks like we're like boarding the plane or something. So that kind of makes for some cooler shots here. But the phone switch is probably only going to be temporary, but we'll see, because I kind of like this shot, and maybe I'll want to keep doing them on the phone here. But anyways, seems like it's mostly the 319s with sharklets. I've actually only seen 319s with sharklets flying into Sint Maarten I fly in from Charlotte. So I've only seen the A319s with sharklets fly in here though. So I'm assuming that, I guess, American just uses these on the Caribbean routes. They don't use the fenced tip versions. I don't know like if there's any major difference between them, other than of course you know the winglets, and I guess this one has the CFM engines, and then so I'm not sure if like this one have better capabilities in the Caribbean, like on shorter runways. I wouldn't expect it to, so I don't really get why they only fly the sharklets here, but at least it makes this model more realistic. So anyways, this one came in from Charlotte Douglas, once again on the turn, and we'll be heading back out there, so very nice to see once again. And then here we have the Delta 757-200. This one is in the Mario Rivera Heritage, or not Heritage, but Hall of Fame livery. A little sticker there on the nose of the aircraft. But I tried to get the ground level shot for this one as well, but didn't quite work. The aircraft was a little bit too big. And if you can see the next one to the left of your screen, it's not going to work with that one. So kind of a special deal with the American, but it looked pretty cool while we had it. So anyways, the Delta 757-200 came in from Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson. You can see the bags getting loaded up there in the back. It'll be heading out to JFK. So not all turns today. We do have one that is continuing on from Atlanta to JFK. So pretty cool there on the Delta 757 that Sint Maarten gets year-round service from both Atlanta and JFK. And finally, of course, here we have the KLM A330-200. This is in the 100th year anniversary livery, but you can disregard that. The actual aircraft didn't have that, but I wanted to get the KLM A330 in here. They also, Sint Maarten gets daily service on the Air France A330-200, a Swiss 001 would say, but I only have the KLM A330. I do have an Air France 777, but that wouldn't be exactly realistic, but I could use it if you guys would like me to. But I don't expect all my updates to happen in this time frame, but I just really wanted to get the KLM A330 in here because I think it's kind of unique. So here it is. At least like maybe if I had like an Air France A350, I might use it because that would be like the right manufacturer, but I don't know. The 777 just doesn't seem right. So anyways, enough rambling about Air France. The KLM A330-200 came in from Amsterdam Schiphol, and it will be, on the return, we'll be heading back out to Amsterdam Schiphol. Nice route there. Of course, this route was made famous with the 747-400 back when they used to do that. Unfortunately, that's no longer a thing, as KLM doesn't have 747s anymore. But it's still great that the route continues, even though it's not in its heyday anymore. But still looking very nice here on the A330. I wish they would operate more than just like 3 or 4 times a week, as Air France can maintain daily service. And then they even have competition. Some are seasonal. Air Caribes. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. If it's Air Caribes, Air Caribes. It's spelled like Air Caribes, but I don't know. Or maybe it's something like Air Caribes, like with a like that sound. I don't know. You guys can correct me in the comments if you know. But they serve flights from Paris Orly, so but those are only weekly. So Air France even has competition. KLM doesn't, so technically they could operate some more services, but I guess not right now. But yeah, that'll do it for this update for Sint Maarten. Thank you all for checking it out. Sorry I rambled a little bit there, on a lot of these aircraft. But you know, it is a new airport, so I'm kind of just introducing you all to it. And hopefully you enjoy it in the future updates. So thank you all for checking out this airport update. Welcome Sint Maarten to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.